So there's a video on my thoughts on the second stimulus check and if we're going to, get one. And I done a couple of videos on, the first round and, eventually, I end up actually getting a stimulus from the first one. I didn't think I was going to. A lot of people didn't think I was going to because of a lot of the false information that was spreaded on a lot of these YouTube channels ever since COVID-19 first started, from people who are sitting down, at their table, at their desk. And it's several channels that are doing this, spreading false information about the stimulus and spreading false information in terms of, people who receive Social Security and Social Security disability. And they, get a lot of views, and, they claim, oh, well, we work with the Human Services Office. Well, if that was true, then, why are you spreading, false, information? And, I left a couple of links and a couple of, comments on these people's video, like a couple of months ago or so, and especially with a lot of the articles that were, online, and this people were saying, and because of how so little somebody may, bring in on SSI, definitely qualified for, a stimulus, even when you were labeled as independents, right? When it came to taxes, or even if you're claimed on somebody else's, those who, found out they were labeled as independents or claimed, still got one. And, I done a video, again, a while back, and, I make, I think, almost $2,000, almost $2,000, every year from SSI, which is not a lot. You take 500 plus 500 every, month that passes by until, the end of the year, and, it's around 2,000, if I remember correctly. So a lot of these, videos that are just out here, people talking about these stats, these numbers, they sound good. They sound smart saying it, but they were just spreading false information, very false allegations. Now, some people who got theirs the first round, who had their taxes filed, got one, and a lot of people are going to wonder, are we going to get a second one? I'm going to say no, because you already got yours for this year because of the tax file, and that's it. You're not going to get a second one because you didn't file for any new tax claims and things out of that nature. The ones who are going to get one, and of course, we all saw the video, the picture, with Trump already signing the first step of the second stimulus go around from the bill. Now, of course, there are steps to this. Of course, everything has to get ran through Congress, and, both sides of the parties, Democrat, Republicans, even those labeled as independent as well, I believe, when it comes to not really picking a side. They sit down, and, one side may not want it, the other side, may want it, and one side's like, it's definitely going to be needed. And, one side may, okay, what, you are right, there are people, on both sides of the parties, Democrat and Republican, and people, those have claimed as, I think, independent, who are in the middle, with this American citizens, are suffering out here, financially, because, a lot of people right now, are definitely out of job. Some people are working, some people ain't. People out here, are getting sick. Some people are dying. A lot of jobs shut down this year. A lot of businesses, had to close their doors. Some people, are most certainly, just getting by, scraping by, or just going along day by day. And because of this, because of this, once they're trying to discuss it, and to me, there's really nothing to discuss, but there have to have steps in the last meeting for the last signing is next month on September 8th, I believe. And I believe it will happen, because I know they're going to say, oh, well, us as a country, as the U.S., we're in debt. Well, the U.S. been in debt for many a moon, man, for many years, many decades, many generations, because we have, because our factories have to, job factories, the government. By job factories, I mean places that, print money, make money. The government, has to pay people, has to, do business cuts, deals, breaking money with other countries for shipping goods and, things out of that nature. So the U.S. been in debt. This ain't nothing new. The U.S. been in debt. There's money coming through the U.S., going through the U.S., going through banks, taxes, jobs, and cash registers. Even as far as digital currency goes, running through the U.S., poor or rich. No matter what you do, there's always going to be some type of debt owed. There's always going to be something there. And of course, the U.S. is going to be in debt. What do you expect? I mean, it's been like that for years, even when it comes to wars. But we all know at the end of a war, the rich get a big payoff, and the poor, eventually, they die. So, that's what happens in those scenarios eventually. Sadly. Nothing too much we can do about it. But do I think it will happen? Yeah. A lot of people may have the question, well, who do you think going to, qualify for a second one? And one is going to be the people who, don't have a job, unemployment, those who can't file taxes, will receive, 600 instead of 500 this time. Even if you're somebody collecting unemployment, you will get one for the $1,200. Same thing with, Social Security beneficiaries. And it will be like the last time, if you signed up for the direct deposit, it'll go into your account. If you didn't, if you got yours in the mail, it will go in the mail. So that's how it's going to be. And of course, when they send them out alphabetically due to last name. So mine would be in the N's, and I hope, they do get them sent out, pretty quick, because the holidays are coming up. You got some people that have kids, and, they're going to want to try to get some stuff for Christmas, for their kids. So I hope that, they send them out early, because I do believe there is going to be a second round, with the final passing of the sign of the meeting. And yeah, I believe it's something that is needed. It feels good to have, $1,200 may not seem a lot, but it's definitely better, than nothing. So That being said, I'm out. Peace. One thing, I do want to add to this video, and I'm gonna make it, a bit of a little vlog, I guess. Why not? One thing with today's, job force, today's economy, I guess it really depends on where you're, on what state you live at. And I kind of want to go back to where we are before we get to where we are now. I think 4 years ago, something that, I started really noticing, and something that I think a lot of people, notice now when it comes to, jobs, when it comes to trying to get by, live, paycheck by paycheck. If you take your, factory jobs, let's take them first. Your factory jobs used to be, you're making good money, back then. You're almost making around $2,000-$3,000. Today, when you're just making $500-$600. Plant jobs, you used to make good money, you used to make decent money. Now, it's like $500 jobs. You take, next to that, school teachers who don't even, see a lot of money from their jobs. It's like only in the hundreds. Like the 100s, not anything, higher than that. But then you have the school systems. And I used to work, volunteer work, by the way, for schools. Even though I was still in school myself. And, not to go into the full story, but, parents, and even those my age who are now, in their early 30s, or like really early 30s, have you ever wondered why, we always got these raggedy ass textbooks and nothing new? Well, the money that our parents would give to the school when it comes to, the registration, and then the book fee money on top of that, and then your, student lunch money to get started with that as well. That money would go to the school boarder, the school system. They hoard that money. Call it for what it is, it's hoarding with what they did with the money. So they hoard it, and they would buy these, new supplies, right? From sports equipment to computers, textbooks, and desks, right? And they're going to leave them in packaging. So, one job I had for a while, for like a week, I had to collect textbooks. And it just wasn't me, I had a friend with me. So we had to, get the little car, and, we had to go to the older classrooms to get the old books. And we had to stamp them for retirement. After that, we would go to the storage garage, and we would open up a brand new box of textbooks. And we were stamping the textbooks for 6 years, 5 years down the line when we're not going to be there. So our parents' money goes towards paying for stuff that other kids are going to receive 5-6 years from now. So the school system, school community, boarder, council has money, but they're underpaying their teachers for putting up with a lot of bullshit. From that job, you have, garbage collector who makes more money than somebody that works at a plant, a factory, and a teacher. They make, even when it comes to every year, when it comes to filing taxes, they get a good tax return. You know how much they make every year added up total? $30,000 to around $34,000. So they get paid good just for working for the city, if not the state. Okay? Your, next job, I guess, would be, I don't know. Let's see. I guess your fast food joints, right? Working with food. I used to work at McDonald's once, and let me tell you, the pay is shit. It is. I don't care if it's like every Friday pay, but it's shit, because you're getting paid less for working long, miserable hours in a small kitchen surrounded by a lot of heat. And then you're putting up with crowds of people, and then you're putting up with your employees' jobs when they don't want to show up. So then you got to take on their job, and sometimes you find yourself doing everyone's job one day, and it gets to you. Same thing when I can see when it comes to pizza delivery people, man. Like, they work in a small ass kitchen, have to take orders constantly, and they make very, very little because their paychecks are from tips, man. So it's really fucked up because they need to get paid more. The state needs to actually give them a paycheck for doing that work. When it comes to correctional control officers, right? Cops. They say, man, I want a cop salary. If that is it, law enforcement, man, I'm going to put law enforcement from sheriff to cop and correctional control officer, right? Oh, man, I'm on cop salary. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's hard out. Man, that's bullshit, because you know how many police officers are driving around with good cars and living in houses and still making payments? And then you hear about, man, I got a vacation coming up. How many vacations you took within the year? How much money is you making? And it seems like you making bank. Be real. And one thing a lot of people don't know, and for those that did time like myself, the prison system, when you get locked up, when somebody dies, and when people donate food, the prison jail systems make a lot of money in those ways. They do. And plus, when somebody puts money on your books, they take a lot of money off the top. So they're even as far as stealing your money as well. So every year, the law enforcement get a good payout bonus. They get a good payout bonus. So cops are getting paid more than teachers, factory and plant workers, and people that work in food joints, right? Some people are going to say, well, they're out there risking their lives and the stuff they got to put up with. I get that, but they make around the same amount every year, if not a little bit more, than garbage truck people, man. Crazy, right? No, yeah, a cop works for the state, works for the city. Same thing with a fighter. And I would imagine somebody that works ambulance truck as well. Next job. Doctors in this state that I stay in barely even hit minimum wage. Yeah, that's how much they're getting paid. They're getting paid under. Some states, if not all, a lot of states right now, man, you know, some states more than others, you know, they're underpaying their doctors. They're underpaying their doctors right now. And it's been that way for now 5 years. My brother-in-law, who is a doctor's surgeon assistant, you know, he assists the doctor and when it comes to surgery. He was trying to find something down here and he's like, man, they really getting paid under that? You'd be surprised they are. So he looked in a couple other states that he could think of, and you'd be surprised. A lot of states are underpaying their doctors. But the people who go for like the nursing, who wear the scrubs, you know, they get paid more than doctors do. And one thing I noticed when it came to something like that, you know, I would always see some of the girls I went to school with, you know, even in school, going for the study of nursing. They would wear the scrubs, go into the field, even in terms of college and their studies. And by the time they actually start their job after school, within about 6 months, they're making bank. Within about 6 months, they got a good ass apartment. When I mean good ass apartment, I mean good, nice apartments with a pool, fancy looking, takes care of, security gate, like really big ones. You gotta have a good job just to get those. And then also within them 6 months, then after about a year, they got like a really nice car and making payments with a nice phone. So nursing, you're getting paid more than doctors. You know, it's crazy. It really is. You know, even when it comes to janitorian work is almost up there with nursing, and even they're getting paid more than doctors. Yeah. So, you know, it makes someone think like, you know, or certain jobs that you think are going to pay more worth it. You know, like when it comes to, you know, lawyers right now. Yeah, they get paid, but are they getting paid more now or less? So these are, you know, just little, you know, random thoughts I had, and you know, looking into us, it's crazy because, you know, a job that you would think pays more doesn't pay more, and a job that you think pays less is going to pay more. And it really makes you think, man, who's out here getting these stimulus checks like that? Because I guarantee you, you know, with this whole thing ever since it started up, you know, law enforcement for a while didn't care what crimes happened because they were getting in stimulus pays almost about every 2 weeks, believe it or not. Yeah, that was filed and documented. Then, you know, the same thing with doctors and lawyers. So, you know, they weren't out there doing their job because of that. What makes you think, you know, they're going to go back to, you know, not doing their job again when the second round passes? Because they don't seem to be doing their job now. So since the pandemic started, they are getting paid more money, even just for ignoring or not wanting to do their job right. So these are just, you know, random thought that kind of goes into this video with, you know, the second round of stimulus checks. And me, I'm just surviving day by day. You know, some days I find harder than others. Some days I find easier, you know, than others. And whatever little pay I get from right now just by doing little jobs, like $60, man. And I do what I can with that 60, and sometimes I just put it up and save it. So it is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. But going back to the question at hand, do I think the second round is happening? Yeah. Are people on Social Security definitely going to get one again? Yes. I do believe Social Security should be... Social Security needs to do bonuses this year around December time for everyone that receives Social Security and Social Security disability. They need to do at least $1,000, $2,000 bonus, man, because that would be great to have on top of that stimulus, boy. It really would, even with the regular pay, but that ain't gonna happen. And every year, we all hear about, or we all, receive these bullshit newsletters from for human services. I'm talking about, we're gonna give a bonus out this year to our Social Security beneficiaries. It's gonna be another 25% raise. What? Where the fuck is the extra 20 and where's the extra, $1.25% at, man? Where is it? Because it ain't changed. I remember a couple of years ago, I'm gonna say a couple of years, I don't know how long ago it was, that it was something in the mail that they sent, and everyone got one who receives it. We're gonna do $1,000 bonus. Guess what? As soon as the first of the month hit, everyone was at the bank. And you know what? No one received a $1,000 bonus. Boy, the Social Security be bullshitting. You would think with everything that's happening now, they would stop they bullshitting and actually do a $1,000 bonus, man. To give an extra helping hand, bruh. But nah, they ain't. They don't care. They be on bullshit. They really do. They really do. So again, are the people who got one before, even with working just a simple job when you're getting paid less, are going to receive one as well? Again, for a second one. Yeah, I believe so. When the bill does pass again for the final sign-off on September 8th, I hope they get them sent out, really quick. I really hope they do, because it's Christmas time. It's almost Christmas time, man. We ain't got, this year left to go. It started out weird. It started out rough with everybody. I was infected by this year with a lot of shit that happened. And, sometimes you feel like you're the only one. But, this year just, definitely hit crazy. We got September, October, November, December. We got 4 months left of this year. Once 21 hits, man, it's going to be a new start for everybody. I feel like a lot of stuff will eventually is going to pass over. I feel like there's going to be something that's going to happen for it to pass over, to be over with. But it definitely changed how a lot of things work now. I believe we're going to definitely get a vaccine shot for COVID like we do with the flu shot. It's only a matter of time. I believe they're going to do a clean sweep in the states. So I think there's going to be a time where they're going to pick a month where people need to stay in their homes. as they send helicopters and truck cleaners to put chemicals down on the ground and start cleaning, to do one great big disinfect. So, with that being said, man, I'm out. And remember, guys, if you guys see some of these videos with these, people dressed all nice, talking fancy ass talk about the stimulus check updates and packages, do not listen to them, because they are spreading false information. That being said, I'm out.